A sharp crack shoots through your jaw while you bite into gritty bread. The pain is so bright that your hand flies to your face. There is no dentist, no x-ray, no antibiotic, and no clean little room where someone fixes the problem in an hour. There is just the tooth, the swelling, and the question of how long you can keep eating. At first, the problem may be tiny. A grain of sand from stone ground flour scrapes enamel. A seed shell wedges between teeth. A small crack opens where the tooth has been worn thin. Your tongue finds the edge again and again, because your brain cannot leave danger alone. For many ancient people, teeth worked like tools. They chewed tough plants, dried meat, gritty bread, fibrous roots, and hard seeds. They also held fibers, softened hides, and sometimes gripped objects while both hands were busy. Enamel is strong, but it does not heal. Once it wears down, the softer dentine underneath can feel every bite. The first survival trick is simple avoidance. You chew on the other side. You tear food smaller. You soak grains longer. You press a hand against your cheek and wait for the pulse to calm down. That helps for a while, but it quietly creates a new problem. If chewing hurts, you eat less. If you eat less, you get weaker. Then the tooth becomes a trap. Food sticks in a cavity. Bacteria feed there. The hole deepens. Hot food stings. Cold water shocks. Sweet plants or sticky porridge make it throb. Pain that once came only during chewing now arrives while you are sitting still. Without modern dentistry, people still tried to fight back. A thin splinter of wood or bone could scrape between teeth. A pointed stone tool might pick at a painful hole. We have ancient evidence of people manipulating decayed teeth with flint, and later evidence of drilled molars in Neolithic communities. These were not pleasant appointments. They were desperate attempts to remove the thing that hurt. Sometimes a covering helped. One famous ancient tooth from Slovenia had beeswax pressed over damaged dentine and a crack. If that was done while the person was alive, it may have reduced sensitivity for a while. Imagine biting down and feeling wax dull the sting for one meal. That is not a cure. It is a pause. A cracked or rotting tooth could also become infected deep inside. Now the danger moves beyond pain. Pressure builds under the gum. The cheek swells. Sleep becomes broken. The person wakes with a jaw that feels too large for their own face. They may stop talking because moving the mouth hurts. If the infection finds a path outward, pus can drain through the gum or jaw. That sounds terrible, and it is, but drainage can lower pressure and briefly save the person from worse swelling. If the infection cannot drain, fever can climb. The face tightens. The neck may ache. Eating becomes almost impossible. At this stage, the group matters. Someone else may pound food softer. Someone may bring water. Someone may hold the person's head while a bad tooth is pulled or broken loose. Extraction without modern anesthesia is brutal, but leaving the tooth in place could be worse. A loose tooth might come out with fingers. A stubborn one could snap, leaving roots behind. Ancient Egyptian remains show how common misery could be. Many teeth were ground down by food contaminated with tiny mineral particles. Some people developed exposed pulp, abscesses, and jaw damage. Texts mention mouth problems and remedies, but clear physical evidence for routine dental surgery is rare. Most people were not walking into a professional clinic. They were enduring, improvising, and hoping the body found a way to drain the infection. The strangest part is that tooth pain could change daily life before it ever became deadly. It changed what you ate, how long you worked, how well you slept, and whether you could travel. One bad molar could turn hard food into a threat. A swollen jaw could make a hunter slow, a farmer exhausted, or a parent unable to chew enough to stay strong. If the body won, the tooth might die, the pain might fade, and the person might live with a dark, broken stump for years. If the body lost, the infection could spread through the jaw, into deeper tissues, or into the bloodstream. Long before a toothache became a medical emergency with a name, it was already stealing sleep, food, strength, and time. So before dentists, a toothache was not just an inconvenience. It was a countdown. Sometimes it ended with a scraped cavity, a wax patch, a pulled tooth, or a lucky drainage hole. Sometimes it ended with fever and silence. And every bite after the first sharp crack became a test of whether that tiny piece of bone-white enamel